All right, we're live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Another Unite DeFi Roundtable. Please, if you could, take a moment before we get started and hit the like and subscribe button. Really helps out with the algorithm, gets our message across to more people. We've got a really great lineup this evening. Bunch of really cool NFT projects. Uh, a few of them brand new on the scene. Everybody's doing something a little bit unique. So I wanted to take a moment to kind of gather a bunch of the actual projects. Sorry, fumbling stuff. A bunch of the projects that are actually working around the same different types of products, but doing it in their own little unique way. So we gathered a bunch of them here tonight. We're probably actually going to do a follow up NFT episode on the next one as well. Um, Anyways, I'll pass it around the room. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. Of course, my name is Chris Ginn, aka Meta Captain. I'm the founder of Meta BUSD Coin, a VR project, Binance Smart Chain based, literally the best project in the world. Voted number one by everybody who can vote. So get in on it. Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin Reamer, CEO and developer of USD Buffet. Our project is all about basically investing in other projects, helping with their volume, and in return, generating our own volume and rewards. We use a portion of our buy and sell tax to fund the purchasing of other tokens, plus some external revenue we have coming in from other sources. All right. Well, since Chris will seems to be muted still, we'll go and
Yeah,
go.
no, I was fumbling around. I was trying to get out to the social
Yeah.
media people. I was trying to go to like the Twitters and the Discords and say, "Hey, come watch my show." So, but next on the list, George.
Hello, guys. I'm George. I'm in the crypto space for like 1.5 years. I recently was doing cybersec before crypto, and I went into by doing smart contract audits. Basically, I didn't even know that smart contracts were a thing 1.5 year ago. So from that point, uh, I I contacted the disease, and I decided that this was all I want to do in my life. Be a crypto person, developing amazing applications. Then I met some people, some very wonderful people in the UK, and we put a startup together. And we initially got funding from the Algorand Foundation. This is a supply chain project. I have an NDA. I can't talk a lot about it. Um, then I started developing my own project, Money Capsules, and then I basically met Gavin, and we founded the Black Art Club, a utility NFT project that I'm here to talk about it. So that's a bit about me.
Fantastic introduction. We'll definitely be doing some deep dives into your project here in just a moment. Dragon Rider, go ahead and give yourself an introduction. Maybe talk about the project that you're working on.
Okay, yeah, sure, totally, man. Hey, how you doing? I'm Dragon Rider. I am the host of Worldwide Crypto, where I give space for the small cap projects that need a little bit of exposure. I'm also partnered with, or excuse me, I'm on the team with Ewam's Divide. It's a game that's going to be coming out later on this year. We have NFTs that's going to be part of the utility of it. And those NFTs will also interact with the game as well. It's going to be like a 5v5 versus 5 battle arena. And yeah, so part of that is also with our utility that we are releasing here that's going to be available on Apple and Google Play stores, is our portfolio DeFi portfolio tracking application, which the beautiful thing about that is you don't have to uh, add, you don't have to connect your wallet or anything. So there's no security issues. All the information is totally anonymous. All you need is a valid email, and you get it started. So it stays true to the heart of what DeFi is supposed to be, which is anonymity, and basically it's all-in-one to basically track your many different wallets, as I have 10 myself. So it's all-in-one place to track your wallets, and also with a lot of these small cap projects that aren't listed on say CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, when they list, they will be listed as soon. You will be able to see their charts as soon as it's listed. So yeah, so there's a lot going on with that. I'm going into even more detail on that Friday with my AMA with links.
So I'm going to give you, I'm sure you've probably already heard this, but just a key little piece of advice.
Okay.
That immediately seems like something that has at least a small opportunity for like a white label fee exchange of some sort. So if you had the ability to, white label that service towards somebody, say NBC or BBFT, we're like, hey, you know what? We like that idea for our own rewards tracker. Even though we might have our own already, maybe we like that one a little bit better. Maybe just for the simple fact that it is also going to allow you to track all the other tokens quickly and easily. I'm willing to bet a project like ours or somebody else's would maybe pay something, small fee of some sort to get that white labeled and added to their own website. So I would definitely approach that heavy.
Yeah, we're definitely open to that. The very first thing is to basically get it out and get some people using it. We were pretty successful in the beta testing of it, and we received a lot of feedback, like I said, and to improve it. And we think that we have a great product that eventually it's going to be a want of other projects, so to speak. But first and foremost, we want to get it out, get people using it so they can see what it is, actually use it. It's very, very user friendly, easy to use. So we want to get it out there, and then if something comes our way, we're definitely open to it.
Very cool. Atlas, give yourself a little introduction. Maybe talk about your project.
Hi, everyone. My name is Crypto Atlas. I am a Jonin at the Hidden Leaf Village. So, I got that going on. I'm also a crypto YouTuber. I cover a lot of passive income projects and an NFT artist, and a project that we announced fairly recently, but we're getting very close to having the official launch of it, is an NFT series. And I'm really looking to help elevate what NFTs are capable of beyond being just a digital artwork. And so this is a collaboration with numerous crypto projects, one of which is MetaBUSD Coin, headed by Meta Captain. And I'm really excited to continue to expand out this project. I'm looking to provide things for the NFT holders. This would be passive income for the NFT holder, utilities through the various partnerships. And because of the fact that we're using this essentially as a bridge to communicate between more than one crypto project, we can help elevate communities together. We can help strengthen everyone and kind of play on that term of eco warriors, which is the name of the NFTs. So website has made some great progress. Chris, I'm going to kind of leave it up to you. I think it's at a state where I feel kind of comfortable sharing it publicly, but I'll let you kind of make the final say on that.
Yeah, you can share that publicly. I'm fine with that.
Okay, great. So you guys are hearing it first, right here, right now, live on this space, that if you go to teamecowarriors.com, that is the official website where it gives you a nice little breakdown covering a lot of what we're doing with this NFT project. This is a partnership starting off. We've announced so far partnerships with Glow Token and with MetaBUSD Coin. I am looking to expand it out through more cryptocurrency partnerships in the future, but this is what we're starting with.
Very, very cool. All right. Yushua, I'm very excited to have you here this evening. We're going to go in depth in a little bit about your claim service, but for anybody who's listening or watching this is not the first claims that have actually been paid out. There's been other claims have been paid out, but this is like one of the first projects that really hits close to home to all of us who participate in like our small little section of the ecosystem that we do participate in, where a project that was fairly close to us all had like a weird situation happen, and Ushua and his project Shieldcoin was actually able to step up and show what its utility is all about. So it has had a lot of, coverage in the last week unexpectedly because of these things that have played out. But it's one of those things where, as per usual, insurance is something that you never care about until you need it or until it comes in handy. So, Ushua, take the floor, man.
Yes, so my name is Yeshua Nettles. I am the CEO of Shieldcoin. We are pretty much the insurance company within the crypto space. Like MetaCaptain said, we did pay out several claims. It's our most used utility as of to date. That was, again, I'm not gonna mention the project right now, but if you go to our community, you definitely can find out which project it was. We paid about 5,000 in claims over the last 2 months, and we've only been live for 3 months. We have several utilities, but our insurance is our flagship. We're working on another utility, which is essentially fiber for crypto. It's still in the works. I've been looking at the contract developers and what they're doing in the background, so we're really excited about that. So we have a lot coming for the space. We're really, really excited to be here, and thank you, MetaCaptain.
Sorry, that stupid mute button gets me all the time. Stacked Finance is the name of the project that he didn't want to name. Stacked Finance is that project. They did some terrible things, but Stacked Finance is that name. And then EJ, man. So this is another glorious moment where you've got utilities live, finally. You've got NFT tickets being sold, and you've got your product getting used. So you've got to be somewhat ecstatic because that part's done. Somewhat just, buried by the amount of work that now has to go into growing this even further.
Right.
Give us an update. Give us an update. What you got going on?
It's kind of incredible, to be honest. So like, we're a reflection token, right? But our most recent utility is EverTix, which is an NFT ticketing site. And we ended up, we had 4 events go live today, which were mid-level, touring artists. And yeah, I mean, I can't say, just it's almost surreal literally what a blessing it is that it's been like only almost 4.5 months that we're actually up and running, selling tickets. And then to incorporate that with all of the event promoters, like I was telling you guys offline, like that's my daytime job. So like, basically I'm getting, phone calls from all these event planners and directors that are like, hey, we're seeing this is working. Let's, can we download our CSV files? Can we be able to check like the ticket sales? Can we get the updates on this? How do you pull this? It's incredible. Like our team, I've mentioned Danny, aka Noodles, a ton, Manuel, who's been huge for us. And then another dev named Feisty that, these guys have been working their butts off, all of us included. I think that there's still that like surreal, like, is it working? Like, okay, it's working. Like everything's being processed. We're going to make some improvements as things go on to make it a little bit more automated with our buyback and burn from the service fees. But yeah, like frazzled, but like ecstatic. Like, I don't know how to exactly like describe, like I hardly slept last night because we were constantly like double checking things before we went live with those 4 events this morning. And then all day today, it's just been like, all right, we're in some of the chat rooms, responding to the EverTix like questions that are coming in or emails, and get about 150 tickets or so today, which I think is a fairly nice, an initial day for just some Facebook posts. There's going to be more PR and campaigns coming out for these events, but it's incredible, man. Like I feel so fortunate to be like in this position and being able
real
to do
quick,
events.
before we go past this, because
Yeah.
it hit my brain just now, and I know I've got some DGens somewhere they're going to be asking about it. All right, so 150 tickets were just sold. That means that at least $150 worth of Everreflect is going to get bought and
Correct.
burned
Yep.
out of supply forever.
Yep. So
And-
Danny's in charge of that. What we're going to end up doing is, as opposed to the gas fees and processing, especially where the market is right now, of $1 per ticket, which is the minimum that we'll always do buyback and burn. We're doing it in 100 BUSD basically value increments. So our first 100 BUSD buyback and burn happened this afternoon. We'll probably get another one tomorrow because of the fact that we'll probably go over 200 tickets sold tomorrow. It's going to be rough estimates. A lot of people have asked, well, will you turn over exact sales numbers? We can't exactly give like to a T, like, okay, this was 17 tickets sold for this event or 1,000 tickets sold for this event. We'll give rough estimates. And then every 100 tickets sold, we'll do that buyback and burn until we release our next level of our contract, which upon the WooCommerce checkout purchase, it'll actually send the NFT, it'll mint it, it'll put it into the purchaser's wallet, it will do the buyback and burn, and it'll basically happen all within one seamless transition. And we're pretty excited about that. So hopefully that'll be in the next probably 2 weeks tops, but rough estimate. But as of right now, the process is still working. Everything.
I'd still think that just logistically, the threshold method actually works better, and you'll probably still end up running up against that.
Yeah.
Realistically, like, Noodles or whoever's working on it's going to come back and say, hey, at the dollar level, it's just not economical. But hey, if we just do it at like $15, yeah, or whatever you
Right.
want. Yeah.
And kind of from the beginning with Everreflect, when there's been like little challenges along the way that will make improvements, that's what's going to continue to keep happening. We've done it with pretty much every utility that we have out now, and it'll be the same. But right now we're gonna stage it basically at 100 tickets sold will be $100 worth of Everreflect purchased, sent to the burn wallet. And yeah, we're getting a lot of happy customers. And the cool part is, like we've been talking about before, is that most of these customers are buying with fiat. They're not even completely aware of blockchain. A lot of them aren't even aware of BSC. So it's getting their feet wet into the NFT game, but also into just crypto in general.
And now for you, I'm guessing your customer now is probably not all, but primarily like those back end people, the vendors, the event planners. That's who you're dealing with on a daily.
Yeah, exactly. So whether it's here in the state of Michigan or I've made the comment in the past that Florida, Texas, and California are going to be the next big markets for us with their similar festival associations. That's because we're the four biggest in the country. There's Michigan, there's Florida, there's Texas, and there's California. So we're going to make sure that we're going to be preferred vendors for all of those associations to the best of our ability, travel to their conventions, make sure that we're on site, getting to know these festival planners, because those are the ones that'll utilize the actual platform, create the accounts. And then the other aspect, so we have like our holders that buy the Everreflect token, we have the vendors that want to sell the tickets, and then we have the customer support for the actual ticket purchasers and patrons that are going to attend the event. And we're having a whole back end with all of our chats, whether it's Facebook or whether it's via evertix.com, to make sure that customer service is first and foremost, because these people sometimes have questions even about how, what a PDF is. Like that literally was a conversation that we had with somebody today. And you have to kind of have every aspect of technology, because somebody that's buying a ticket for the Guess Who, like we put on sale today, they may be a little bit older in demographic, maybe don't use email, maybe they don't understand certain things nearly as well as some of us do. And it's a cool intro. It can be time consuming. It was today, but we love it. And we're happy to be doing it. So
I think we all occasionally get hit with like those real time consuming tasks. And I myself Today spent some good time on some time consuming stuff that drove me banana sandwich. All right, so real quick, I actually want to hop over to George. Um, so if you could, can you give me like a real simple layman's terms elevator pitch breakdown of what exactly your project is?
Yes, guys. So basically, the Black Card Club is a project that we co-founded with Gavin, who is the soul of BUSD Buffet, Kevin's project over here. And the reason that we initially found the project was to go away from all this Web 2, excuse me for the term, bullshit of how the rewards and how the club card rewards especially, are handled. So what I mean by that, if you have a Tesco club card, uh, or if you have fly points, or if you have points, spendable points from your bank because of transactions, all these points you can't transfer them. And if you have a club card, you can't transfer it to someone. It's illegal basically to sell it. It has your name on it. Your points, it's the same thing. You can't basically sell your points. And if you do, you can do it through probably like a dubious marketplace that will take a lot of points for a little bit of your dollars, or you can use the default exchange. Some airline points, for example, can be exchanged for other kind of points from their portal. But on that kind of exchange, you basically give more on the dollar price of the points to get less from the other points that you receive from that exchange. So all that kind of stuff, we want to reinvent them in the Web3 world with the Black Card Club. So it's basically an NFT that itself is an instrument that can generate that give you these points upon doing purchases on partnered shops. And these points, they're valued on dollar price, and you can exchange them. They're absolutely fungible, and you can exchange the NFT too. So this NFT has other perks. It will be able to give you tokens from other partner protocols. It has a partnership with BUSD Buffet, which basically reinvest some of the stuff. So it has pretty good tokenomics. So if you are allowed to post the Discord URL, you will be able to see that better. But basically, yeah, that's it. Everything is fungible. You're in complete freedom of your points and your instruments, the point generation instruments. You can basically sell your NFT to someone else for more money. It's the same thing that like selling your club card or the point generation instrument, and you can sell your points to. No one is putting any limit to you, and there is absolutely no reason to not doing so. Our role is to give, and our vision is to give absolute freedom to the customer. And I think this is the Web3 vision, all about like going out of the Web2 limitations. And because we are decentralized, we are visible in the blockchain space, we can do things like in that way. Because their proliferation model is that. So they don't want you to exchange your club cards. They don't want you to give to a friend your points for free. And if you do, they want you to go into a lot of trouble to do so. And they have a very specific reason, because they actually make a lot of money because of that. This is their model. So our model, it will be that you will be able to do everything. And actually, you'll say to me that these may be unsustainable. Actually, if you go and see how we designed the tokenomics and all the logical process behind of that, you will see that there are specific proliferation models for the users and for the company behind the project. And the last thing that I want to showcase is that we could brought that project to VCs. Instead of that, we decide to do a 5,000 mint with predefined price, and the price will be $150 for each NFT, for its black card. And these initial 5 first users, they will be our shareholders too. So we don't want to go and sell our soul. Primarily, we want to be part of a decentralized community. And this is, by the way, most probably will not have any whales or anything like that. It will not be a purely centralized project. The small guy can be a shareholder too on that project.
Okay. My immediate question is, of course, trying to follow as best as I possibly could. Whenever we're talking about points here, are we talking about like loyalty clubs? Like in the States, for instance, we would be talking about like the gas station rewards cards and stuff like that? Or are we talking about like credit card frequent flyer miles and stuff like that?
So basically, our model would be that when you do a purchase in a partner ESOP, so this is at this moment, everything is about ESOPs. So when you do a purchase on an eligible ESOP, you get back cashback points, and these points they have therefore they're evaluated in dollars. So we want to give the freedom to our users these cashback points to either reuse them to other partner ESOPs, or if they want to basically put them to their bank accounts or exchange them or do whatever they want with them. So basically right now everything is e-commerce. Definitely we would like to be in the brick and mortar space. So it's a very big vision, but the easiest thing to do and the one to have the biggest turnout right now, it's the ESOP space.
Yeah,
but later on,
do e-shops and then maybe move into browser extensions.
Yes, we thought about that. Basically, right now we talk with Shopify, so they gave us the green light, basically, that we can have an immediate partnership with them. So we can have a Spotify plugin, and we can find partner shops for the vast array of the Shopify partners, their partners, and they can use it right away. So we want to give a way to people who actually don't know what crypto is. They may not know what Web3 is, to be able to enter the space in that way.
Sorry, I'm fumbling my fingers right now. I don't know why this keeps popping up on the screen. I'm not trying to do that. Anyways, okay, yeah, no, that sounds very interesting. I think we can all pretty much get a fairly good idea of what that project is and what you've got going on. It's like an aggregate for customers to vendors online. By providing them a customer base, they're going to give you the deal, so to speak, that allows you to cut the difference between the vendor and the customer, you to take that middleman fee that fuels your economic structure.
Yes, but they will be able to get the cashback only if they have the black card NFT. and these are separated into different types. So if you have tier 5, for example, you are eligible um, for the best cashback, for the best, and there are other perks as well designed. So you're definitely like the top tier. You're getting the best stuff. If you're tier 1, you're getting less stuff, but what happens is that the initial 5,000 holders will get returns from everyone else that will purchase like from 5,001 and above. So everyone else that they will purchase the NFTs after them, they will get return, a percent of return on these sales forever. So this is why I said that they will be the initial our first sale holders, the initial sale holders. So what happens like in our initial mint, how I designed the smart contract is that you have a randomized. So if the technical people here know about Chainlink VRF, it's basically a way to give to people the ability to have a randomized number. So we wanted to put a little bit of gamified approach into our contract and into our utility. So on the first initial mint, there's a specific supply of all the tires. So there are 5 tires in total. So if you want to be a shareholder, thus NFT holder, you will go, but you will not have the ability to select your tire. You will pay $150. You will press mint, and then what you will get, it's random. So the rewards are not tire based. So someone who has tier 5 will get the same rewards as someone who has a tier 1 NFT. But the perks, the special perks and the cashbacks, these are tier 5. And essentially, like if you have a tier 5 on the of the first 5,000 collection, it will be, of course, way more valuable because of its utility from having the same tier 5, but on the collection after the first 5,000 NFTs. So we want to give that gamified approach, make it a little bit gamified. And after the first 5,000 mint, then we will have prices. So then it will not be 150 for everything. It will be different price tires for different NFTs.
Okay. And Toad or Kevin, this is the first project that's actually gone through the BBFT Incubator.
Yeah, this is our first BTIP project. Gavin's been working with them quite a bit, working on their messaging, building the community, getting some marketing out there as well.
So how does that break down for your community? What does that mean to the holders of BBFT?
What that means for us is, and then the specifics, I have to double check on those, but basically there's a portion that's going to come back to the kitchen via the Waiter wallet, and that'll go back into the buying and selling cycles for our various utilities.
Very cool. So the Waiter wallet, what in the case of this project, what's like the actual purchase and sell situation going to look like?
As far as what's coming back to the Waiter wallet?
Correct.
As far as, like I said, the exact numbers, I'll have to go double check. I don't know them off the top of my head. I know George probably does. He and Gav talk about that a fair amount. But yeah, it's just going to be BNB that comes back to that wallet for distribution.
Sorry, I had to fumble around. I had to mute you, George. I apologize. You were just echoing again, and it was driving me banana sandwich. I'm very. You can unmute yourself when the time is right. All right, so I'm gonna skip around real quick. I'm gonna go back to Shieldcoin, and I want to give a little preface to all this. So Stack Finance, what their situation boiled down to, I think, is what usual classifies as a like a rug of opportunity or something like that. Because essentially, from what it seems like, from what at least my independent outsider perspective, looking in at their one second, guys. What it looks like for my perspective, independent judgment, opinion here, is you've got a project that um, seemed to have wanted to accomplish some pretty big things and wanted to make a big splash on the scene. And by doing so, they actually took on a lot of pre-launch debt, which happens from time to time. And the way that this works is you actually get funding from individuals who provide you with actual capital to run marketing, cover administrative costs, stuff like that. It's not always included within like token allocations, but sometimes teams will include it in token allocations, and they don't always work out like proper arrangements and proper, terminology behind their agreements that will allow a project to sustain after somebody realizes that value. It's understandable that if an exchange is made, the other party needs to realize the value, but Stack Finance openly admitted to making some sort of deal like this. And they essentially carved out a portion of token supply and gave it to a financial firm that gave them funds pre-launch so that they could do things like listings. Like Everswap listing, for instance, in case anybody's like watching, is roughly $10,000 one way or the other. You're going to buy their tokens. You're also going to give them something like, one way or the other, you're paying a fee and you're going to buy and hold their tokens. So that costs them a good bit of money along with all the other marketing and so on and so forth. So they sold a bunch of tokens to a firm as soon as they launched. Like same day that they launched, that firm sold on them. And that is hard to quantify, like in terms of what that cost ends up being, because it's, you're getting hit from two sides. You're getting hit from the fact that you've actually lost liquidity. It's being drained from your liquidity pool. But more importantly, in my opinion, you have a wrecked chart on day one. And like, you're not going to get past that. If you've got a wrecked chart on like the first 2-3 days after your launch, it's so hard. You have to market yourself out of that hole. And it's like nearly impossible for anybody. Anyways, so all that happens. And then they launch, they get going, and it appears that they're tugging along and they're trying to put out some utilities. And then one day, the owner of the project, I would say, Sebastian, I have no idea what his last name is. He decides that he's going to have to call it quits. They're not going to be able to continue in this market. It's not going to be feasible for them and their business model to continue working on, and pushes that announcement out there like that and tells his holders, hey, just sell off. If you just sell off and get out now. And that's kind of what everybody was running with at the time. And that's when Shieldcoin, Ushua, stepped in and did what they did. So I guess my question to you is, in a situation like this, that's how it played out. That's how we all watched it go down. Right. So my personal opinion, I'm like, all right, that's not necessarily a rug. That's a shitty situation. And, it's bad all the way around, but that's not necessarily a rug. What made you decide to go ahead and pay out and stick to the holders?
So for us, it became a rug in the sense because only a select group of people knew they were told to sell off. It wasn't everybody. There was a lot of communication across their different platforms. People were trying to get answers. Some of them were being shut down without actual information going out. That's what makes it a rug. So even if they told a select group of people that they should sell off, they didn't make it widespread, and they didn't wait for everyone to actually have an opportunity to know it was a sell-off. And that's where that becomes a rug of opportunity. It may not have been intentional, but that's how it played out. So what we ended up doing is people that actually sold off and actually got recouped some of their money, they were paid the difference of what they had lost, as long as they had the NFT active, and they basically reached out to us and submitted a claim. For those who basically lost everything, they didn't have time to sell off. They got up to the limit of however many NFTs they had. A few people had multiple NFTs, so they got multiple thousands. Some did not. So it just depended on what they were holding in their wallet. And again, because we do the shield trace side, we can actually look into your wallet and see what the actual transaction cost was for you at the time of purchase, how much you actually lost, and how much you recovered during the sell-off period.
All right, that brings me to another question, and you would think I would know this answer, but I actually really don't. So at the time of purchase, let's just say in the case of Stacked Finance, I know their pre-sale was like a good bit before.
Right.
Did you have anybody that made a claim that had actually gotten to like private sale or pre-sale?
Yes, 2 people actually had been in pre-sale. So what I had to do for that, when I go back to the Pink Sale website, I confirm when the actual sale took place and look at the charts to determine what the sale price was at that time. Because when they make the claim, if you're looking on the wallet side, you can't actually see the claim amount. So I have to actually go back to Pink Sale and do the additional digging to find out what that dollar value was at the time of sale.
So that was next question. You're saying dollar value.
BNB is for Pink Sale.
Are you paying them in BUSD the dollar amount that they invested, or are you paying them in BNB the amount of BNB they invested?
I'm paying them a dollar value in BUSD.
Okay, so is that the dollar value that they put in the day of?
Yes, the day of the actual transaction is the dollar value. So when you look in the system, BNB is down pretty much 50% from what it was a month and a half or 2 months ago.
Correct.
I'll actually go to the system and switch it back to see what it was at the time of purchase.
Okay, so yeah, so that's actually exactly what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So that's really, really, really interesting. Anybody who's listening in on this, the quantifiable things that you could do with this type of coverage is immense. Because if you buy this NFT, I have 2, I think. So I have $2,000 worth of coverage, provided I'm buying $10 or $20 worth of Shield coin every month. So let's just say the market takes a crash, like it just fucking did. And because of that crash is literally when you see projects like these stacked finances do what they do. They say, oh man, the market just took a crash and I've got no capital. I've got to close up shop. So you're actually hedging against that crash and against the rug that comes afterwards, because you're actually going to get paid back in the fiat dollar amount that you put in, which is awesome. That's incredible. So there's people out there like I know James. He's in our stream chat here. I know that he actually is somebody that I think got paid out. Zeklis is who he is in our Shieldcoin chat. I'm assuming that he's probably somebody that got in early on see, I'm doing it again, guys. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm assuming that he's somebody who got in real early on Stacked, and I bet you he did fantastic just even against the general overall market in that situation. Because if he was able to make a claim against that, like you said, BNB fell like at least 40% over the past 6 weeks. So yeah, that's really cool. Sorry, I got excited when I hear Jim things like that, and that's definitely something that I really should have realized and I did not realize before. For some reason, because I do so much of my thinking in terms of like liquidity pricing. So, like to me, I'm so DeFi that fiat doesn't exist. So like my price of my token is BNB. It's never been dollars. It's always been in BNB. I don't care what everybody else thinks or says, but it's respective to BNB. And so I'd never been thought about that. But that's really cool, really interesting. Since we're talking,
but the point of that is because insurance is making you whole. If you put in $100 and that $100 is worth 50 because of the market and the volatility, you're not being made whole if I only pay you $50 back. I have to give you the $100 to make you whole as at the time of our agreement, essentially, because our NFT has the contract on it. It's on the face of the NFT. And we have to adhere to that contract. If we want to change it, I have to put out a new NFT. So
James, multiple NFT wallet insurance holder. If that tells you how James does his picks, you know. Anyways, so since we're talking about Stacked, let's just keep the gossip flow going. So did anybody get the news today about Owner's Utility Token buying the advanced verification services? So it's like a KYC service type of deal, and it does like a deep dive on whether or not the people are who they say they are, stuff like that. Well, apparently, Utility Token kind of needed something like that for their mortgage thing, which, to be fair, I don't know enough about Owner's Utility Token to talk like too openly about them. I know they're like a private lending service of some sort. So it's like a project where you like the community votes on mortgages. Like people apply, they say, hey, I need a house. You get a little profile made up on you. The community votes and says, hey, we want that person to get a house. And the community, somebody provides the mortgage lending to that person. A lot of questions I have about the project. At some point, I'm going to sit down and talk to the team on one of these like AMAs or roundtables or something. But long story short, it seems like maybe they needed a service like that. So, and they had apparently already had, like, I guess, a deal worked out with Stacked previous to Stacked's dissolvement that said, hey, we're going to partner with you guys and use this service. We'll pay you for, like, the development of it or something, the white labeling of it. Long and short, they put ABS up for sale. Stacked Finance, Sebastian did or whatever, and I guess out the Owner's Utility Token decided to take that on, and they're going to pay Stacked holders. And I don't want to mix this up too much. Todd Hart's going to do an AMA with them for like real legit details, but the details that I have right now seem to be that they're going to pay out all of the Stacked holders that want some Owner's Utility Token, some amount of token. I don't think they're going to make them whole because that's going to be impossible, obviously. They're not even launched yet. So they're digging into like pre-launch tokenomics. I could see this being a shit show, just to tell everybody the truth, but we'll see how it plays out. I wasn't impressed with their tokenomics before this announcement came out, so we'll see how this plays out. But either way, cool situation, and I like seeing stuff like this in the space happen because, in theory, you have something built that somebody was interested in. There was, investors in this Stacked Finance, and I guess this was their main utility. I don't know, but I think this was their main utility, and people were interested in it. So now it's going to get passed off to somebody else who might actually use it, and in theory, they're going to try to give value to all the holders that just lost all that value. So.
And they reached out to us as well. So we're going to do a CRR review for them as well to see, and I'll look at the tokenomics and let them know if we see any red flags on our end.
You will.
Yeah.
you will, but no, I've talked to the team like 2 or 3 times, really, really like briefly, and just to tell the truth, everybody, I don't know enough about like mortgages in that space to speak like real openly on it. I just got flags left and right personally, like just to tell you the truth, red flags left and right. I'm like, oh man, that seems like such a ambitious, like super ambitious, and I like the thought process and like the base idea I'm like, oh, I'm all for. If you're telling me you can put together some type of like community mortgage lending service that's going to work out well, that sounds like a utopian dream.
Yeah.
At the same time, that's exactly what it sounds like. A utopian dream that like won't work out.
My first company is real estate, so I know exactly what I'm looking at when it comes to mortgages. So I'll be deep diving into that today and tomorrow.
Yeah, and like for instance, so you know like how cutthroat that mortgage world is, right? Like that's a very like never mind. Okay, they need
I'll let them know.
I'll sit down and
Together.
yeah. Okay, so moving on. Dragon Rider, man. So you mentioned NFTs for your project. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, we kind of have some things changing or whatnot. Like I say, it's it will interact with the game as far as you have different playable characters. It's going to be two sides, but it's like armor, weapons, and stuff like that. And they're going to have different characteristics to them. But because we haven't released them yet, we're still working out the fine details as to what they're going to do and how we're going to reward our holders and such. So
sorry, I'm reading this salacious comment by Stephen Carmichael that said, "You need a drink, Chris. Slow your mind. Work lives." I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I got the chill juice right here, people. But, sorry. Anyways, what up, K Bob? I always feel so bad because I don't know how to say that person's name. Is it Medica Bob or is it just Meta K Bob? You know, it's very like the A is missing if it's kebab. Anyways, um, snapshot from the 15th, wasn't it, Chris? Probably. I don't know. What's that supposed to mean?
For OUT when they're looking at the holders for stacked.
Oh yeah. So like, okay. So I heard two different things on that. Like, I really don't know. I wish I could tell everybody like finite details there, but so the announcement that was put out by Sebastian apparently might have been slightly rushed because his announcement stated that the snapshot was from today. But then the guy from Owner's Utility Token, I want to say his name's Das, maybe? Das. He said that the snapshot will actually take place from the 15th. Either way, to tell you the truth, people, it's a null point. The amount of value that they're going to be able to give respectively, is going to have to be like in the low percentage. Just in my opinion, I don't know that for certain. If they gave anything above maybe like 20% respectively, then they're going to run into like some real economic issues with their community and their holders, and that's just not going to be feasible for their project. So again, everybody, I think if anything, this is going to be like more of a consolation prize, and then like if out works out long term, then like that's when those stacked holders would like see their whole value return to them. It would be extremely dependent, I think, on whether or not out sticks around and lasts for like a long set period of time. They're able to do like a nice solid 10, 15, 20x or something like that. Then that's when people that received those claims or whatever will be able to actually say, hey, yeah, I was made fool by this. But because realistically, when you look at the size of Stacks holders and their holder count from the 15th and like what that value would be before any shenanigans started to take place, then like you're talking about quite a bit of liquidity value that would have to come from out token, and that's just not feasible, not possible. Anyways, but I'll let them work all that out. I don't need to keep thinking about what deals they're making and decisions they're making. The guy's smart in the sense that he asked everybody for opinion on how to kind of move that forward. But yeah, I just wouldn't. I would just back out personally. Nope. I'm not going to do this one. All right, back on track. Let's hop back over to EJ from EverReflect. You mentioned that you had 4 different.
We lose you?
Didn't quite catch that last.
I think
bit.
you just swapped to a different blockchain.
I think he was saying something about 4. Well, we had 4 events that went live today, which were a part of the Bay City Ribfest, which is kind of cool because there's 4 concerts that we're able to sell individual tickets at different levels for. Everybody's lineup from high school and college, Uncle Cracker and Everclear, and then some oldies but goodies, the Guess Who and Warrant. So it's pretty cool. Very appreciative of Jay Sanborn, who's one of my partners for a couple of these events, that I'm willing to kind of take a chance with us to be able to sell tickets for an event on a new platform for something that we'll probably do in the range of about 10,000 tickets total for the weekend. So pretty excited. And then I've had some more conversations just recently. I think I was joking with you guys that there's a couple paranormal conferences that are coming to Michigan. So we might be getting into the ghost hunting ticket sales game. And then I have actually some really talented hip hop and urban artists that are here in Lansing, Michigan, that they're new to NFTs, but they're really getting excited about the concept of them and what they think that they can do as far as expanding beyond just a digital asset of a JPEG, but to be able to incorporate that into their marketing and basically some of their music. And if anybody pays attention on Twitter Spaces, you'll obviously see that NFTs are very big in that genre of music. So we're really pumped about that as well, that multiple aspects of what we do with our NFT marketplace, but also Evertix. We think that we can really set a solid foundation that everybody knows, okay, you know, if nothing else, EverReflect and Evertix is one of those allies and resources you can come to if you have an event that's coming up, or if you're getting into the event planning game. One of those conversations we just had was with Tango over at Tango Crypto, that we'll end up doing. Their convention is looking like it'll go on sale next week. They'd pushed back a little bit, I think, due to the market volatility. And now that they're getting some of the lineup in place for speakers and some of the breakout sessions and that nature. So it's been a whirlwind of a couple of weeks, because you kind of go through that process. If anybody's an event planner, of like, okay, we're going to go on sale. Oh, wait, something got delayed. Oh, wait a second, this contract didn't get signed. And so even with our Ribfest stuff to put all these concerts on sale, Uncle Cracker of all people was holding out wanted $25K and versus $20,000. And it's like, dude, you're from Michigan. You know you're going to end up playing here. You're not even that big anymore. Kenny Chesney was your your hit. And then it all comes to play, falls into place. And now it's exciting, though. Now it's really exciting to just see the whole, all right, the mechanics are working. And we're still working our butts off every day, though, on the back end to make sure that I gave our devs a little bit of a freak out this morning, because we ended up getting a bunch of traffic, and they were like, all right, our servers are going to get way down. We need to make sure that we can accommodate for clearing these caches. And but Manuel did an amazing job. Danny did an amazing job. And we're just going to keep scaling it now. Get 10,000 tickets, then get 100,000 tickets, then get 1 million tickets, and see that grow and help not only the NFT live event game, but also help EverReflect and that token and what we're doing in the BUSD landscape, because I think reflection tokens are very important to this industry still. And I think they're going to be here for the long run. It's just which ones are going to live through the adversity of what we're seeing during this kind of winter. And there's going to be a lot of, the guys that are on the table here, you guys are still going to be sticking around through all of this. You're some of the most brilliant men I know. So it's just refreshing to see like actual innovation, work ethic, and a lot of people that are actually taking advantage of this down market to continue to grow.
Yeah, I kind of got a question, if I might, Chris. Literally every project up here has a purpose for their NFTs. It's serving some function and adding value to their overall project. Like for me, in my community, there have been people asking like, when BBFT NFTs? And I'm like, I would love to do that, but I can't think of any way for them to be of some use. So for you guys, when you see something like that, where people want to have NFTs, they want to be part of that world. What are your thoughts on what they can do to add value? What are some value adds that they can consider when trying to introduce NFTs into their communities?
Well,
basically give me ideas, please.
I think something that you need to keep in mind for consideration is that like NFTs within themselves can be a community asset, community utility. There's nothing stopping NFTs being engaging from that being all that they are. And like honestly, there really isn't. If you have a community that wants them and wants to participate in, just simple PFPs or something like that, just for branding awareness and for community hype, a great example of that is look at enhanced apes. For the most part, those are just a hype-driven community engagement aspect of their project. I guess it's also allowed additional capital raising for additional marketing, additional brand awareness. That's something that like your NFTs within your ecosystem, especially you, Kevin, the simplest thing for you is to just literally be like, hey, we're coming out with NFTs and 50% of the entire purchase is going directly to fuel the kitchen every single time. That's the NFT's utility. We want additional capital for the kitchen that rewards you, the holder. So by doing this, you also will get and then add on small perks like, hey, you'll get $10 off any merch you purchase from our merch store. You'll also get off, maybe you'll get whitelist spots for any projects that go through the incubator process. Little things like that here and there. Try to tack them on. Like Dustin said with about NBC tonight on like the investor pit, we don't like offer anything huge with our NFTs. It's not some great utility project like EJ's is or anything like that. It's just an NFT. It's a PFP. It looks cool shit. I paid my artist a good amount of money to make sure that they designed them. They look cool, and they do.
You make a good point. I've got 10 of them because I think they're awesome.
Exactly.
And I want to just throw in one other point too, that like, obviously like Chris, you turned us on to like the morphing of an NFT and how it can change and then go back. And then the concept of nesting that we're going to be able to talk to Charged Particles about. Like Kevin's one of those like top-notch code writers. Like most of us can't do that. And so from my perspective of where I see, you guys could go with it, like those are all kind of on the fringe of what even NFTs are right now, because a lot of people don't get the concept of the morphing. People don't get the concept of nesting. And you just have the brilliance in the mind that you can actually write it. So I would be interested to see you be able to take some of those additional little assets that you can kind of incorporate into NFTs and see what you would come up with, because what you came up with the USD Buffet was already outside of the scope of where my brain works. Most people wouldn't be able to come up with that math. And that's where it's cool to see like the incorporation of you guys going down that path, because I think it would be unique based on of your brain, because it honestly is one of the better ones that are out there as far as devs go, especially when it comes to math, especially when it comes to the community and wanting to take care of the community. So that would be where I'd be excited just to see what you would come up with.
I think if you want like really cool out there ideas, look at Ash Protocol and look at what they're doing with their NFTs with the Ash chain, and every NFT is able to be burnt and turned to more ash and stuff like that. Like building those full circle ecosystems with an NFT is always interesting within itself. So if you had a way to just like mint NFTs and then like they have a floor price that if they're burnt, when they're burnt, you're granted BBFT. So like BBFT tokens are immediately like sent an airdrop to the wallet that burns this NFT. They can only burn it through your DApp portal. We just add in ABI to the contract to burn the NFT, and then just plug that into your DApp. They burn it. Whenever that burn happens, it triggers this, sends them over this. Weird small things like that, just to make it like niche is always key in my opinion.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dragon Rider.
Oh no, I was gonna say so. Like one function that one project has, Meta Arcade, like they have a bunch of sets of NFTs and stuff like that, and you can actually take an NFT, weld it to another NFT, and in a sense burn that, and that NFT is burned forever, and it increases the value of the main one that you welded that to. And I was thinking, like, since your BUSD buffet, you can do like a salad, and people could like put together a salad and burn NFTs in the process and create another bigger masterpiece.
Guys, I'm on a roll today of just like having some really creative juices flowing through me for a couple different things. And I just thought of something while we've been having this discussion. So I'm going to ask everyone here on the panel. I'm curious, do any of you guys network with small businesses in real life? Like, do you know any independent small business owners? Have you included that in sort of your catalog? Anyone on the panel?
Yes, but mostly me. I think you can't say that someone who has 5 million valuation is a small business. But yeah, I try to communicate with businesses and find if there are user case, because most of them, they're Web2 businesses. So when I did my original project, Money Capsules, I wanted to partner with a Web2 site that basically they were like Instagram for food. Okay, and we want to make something so that their users, once they go to a restaurant and take a photograph for a specific food, and they can prove it, like they take cashback. So that didn't go too well, but we still in talks. So yeah.
So basically what I'm trying to get at here is when you think about opening a business that's not dealing in the digital space, right? Because we're talking about cryptocurrencies here. We're talking about NFTs. It's all basically software of what we're working with. But if you open up a business, let's say you're doing wedding photography and you're trying to build up a client user base, you go to organizations where, collective groups of business owners will come together. They'll share what their businesses are about, and they kind of help cross promote one another, right? So we could potentially apply the same mentality, but bridging that idea of bringing the software to the real world businesses and then scaling it up, instead of just trying to knock it out of the park and think that someone like Walmart is just going to all of a sudden accept your crypto because of its specific functions and they want to get it applied, et cetera, right? You can do the same thing with the NFTs here. So I think that there's an opportunity where you could approach small businesses and essentially you're helping bring exposure to them through additional marketing on your guys' website and potentially driving more customer base to them, even if it's localized because of some sort of benefit, right? If a customer for this restaurant presents to the waiter proof that they have ownership of one of your NFTs, then they get a 2% discount on their meal, something like that. But that person, they can then say, hey, I'm going to be actually eating at this restaurant more because I have this benefit compared to the other restaurants. It's like an ongoing coupon, but it's a personalized relationship that you guys have working together. So yes, the business themselves may not be generating as much revenue on a single instance case, but the idea here is to provide them returning customers. And that is such an important integral feature for anything, right? You don't want people to come in and buy your crypto one time, sell it at some point, and then just move on to the next project. You want them to know about all the new utilities and features and growth exposure that you guys are trying to have. You want them to be engaged in your guys' promotions. So, Kevin, I think this is an opportunity where we as like people in the crypto space should actually start exploring some more of those avenues. Now, as far as for other utilities for NFTs, I actually have a list. I can go ahead and read these through real quick for you. If you want the list afterwards, just let me know. I can send you a DM. But, you know, some of these things, they require tokens. Some of them don't if you're going to be building out an NFT. But you could do things like rewarding NFT holders with tokens over time. So maybe you can set aside a certain amount of your supply that you're comfortable with, figure out the time frame, the frequency, etc. You can find a benefit to people that own those NFTs. You'd have locked tokens, but maybe they give reflections. You got projects that are doing things with nodes, right? You could do a booster on how much those node rewards are earning if they own an NFT with that node. You could do giveaways. If they own an NFT, they qualify for one of your giveaways. You could do entries to whitelists of new features you're going to be launching in the future, and you give them that priority access first. You could do staking, metaverse, right? That's a pretty common one. When projects are trying to do things with NFTs, they build out their own little metaverse game. You could do Discord roles. You could do voting. They get an extra vote on something if they have the NFT, or they're the only ones that can vote on something. You could do access to exclusive features, spaces. You could have some sort of a fractional ownership of something you build out where the people that own these NFTs are getting that percentage of fractional ownership. Those are some ideas to toss your way.
Very cool. Thank you.
All righty. All right, guys. We're out now, and this is a fairly good point to actually call it. I've got a couple things I need to take care of in real life. My son is running around like crazy. I do appreciate everybody stopping by this evening. I am going to give everybody an opportunity real quick to give a quick little outro. Kevin, would you like to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I just think overall the way NFTs are being used, I think I like to see the function behind them, like with what you guys are doing, because what the most of the outside world sees, when I say outside world, I mean outside of like DeFi or crypto in general, they see NFTs as these cool JPEGs, but what do they do? So adding actual function, like, and especially in like real world applications, like with what Black Card Club and with EJ, what you guys are doing, it shows people that NFTs can serve a function, and I think that's awesome. So guys, keep up the good work. It's awesome.
Shieldcoin too, man. Look at that solid utility from Shieldcoin. They're providing insurance.
That's fair. No, honestly, that's a fair point, because like I said, a lot of people, it's like James there, you helped him out a ton with that, and I hate to say it, but that's not going to be the last time. So what you're doing is vital.
So this person right here is actually like on to something really, like a really good point. Because this is actually an idea that like I had a while back, and it wasn't too far off from. I can't see now that I want to put their little comment on the screen. I can't even figure it out. But so long story short, they said in real life application NFT fix for RFID barcode labels that can enumerate past a 10K to 100K mark before being reused, then integrate those into a WMS system, ERC2309 or something. So I had something similar to this idea. I wanted to create an ecosystem for restaurant tipping a long time ago that would allow you to tip directly in crypto directly to like the restaurant, and they would just add like a simple little like barcode or RFID chip to the menu or to the table, and then it would just like process all that. I thought it well out, and then I just never did it. So somebody else take it, run with it. Good idea. Anyways, and it's not even all that hard to do. Like you could realistically set all that up like really, really easily. Anyways, George, would you like to give us a little quick outro?
Yes, guys. First of all, it was an amazing event. I learned about so many exciting projects. All the guys here have projects that really piqued my interest, every single one of them. And another thing I want to say, not to the people who are here, mainly to the people who will watch us and they maybe want to launch their very own NFT projects. NFTs are not always the answer. So if you want to offer utility, the NFT will cost more gas than, for example, making a minimal proxy. So I think for 90 to 95% of the case, making minimal proxies better than NFT. NFT is just um, a a marketing term for a lot of user cases. There are some user cases that need it, like the user case that we present. But if you want to give um, a very individual, the utility to many individual users for very cheap, you better go without NFTs.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For the economic like scaling of individual utility, sometimes going with the NFTs is definitely not going to be beneficial to the project. And like for instance, a good example of that is Dragon Rider. You brought up Meta Arcade earlier, and uh, if you look into their overall ecosystem and how they're providing some of their NFT services that you were speaking on, you'll see that it's not quite what you expect when you think of like, hey, this is another NFT item that I'm purchasing, and then I'm going to weld this NFT to that NFT. That's actually not what's happening, but it looks like it is, and that's really cool. Dragon Rider, would you like to give us a quick little outro?
Yeah, hey man, I'm happy to be here every time, man. I'm learning new things and stuff. Like I came into I'm still learning about NFTs. I kind of got into that whole little thing kind of late in the game. And but yeah, spaces like this and I continue to listen to other spaces, man, and learning how useful they can be and the many different applications of them. They can be used in, Atlas said, so many different things. I mean, they could. It's amazing, and it blows your mind how useful and how different they can be. And it's a big learning curve for me, and I'm still learning. And I appreciate you guys speaking on it, man, because I learned a lot tonight.
Hey, we appreciate you being here with us. EJ, outro.
Well, if you want to sell tickets, visit evertix.io. Would love to have anybody else that's interested in onboarding an event. And then last piece, just a thank you to you guys that are here in the panel and everybody else that's paying attention during this time, because we're in a market that's really tough, and it's really difficult for a lot of people to find anything that's positive through all of this when BNB is on the fringe of 200 every day. You guys really, really encourage me every day to see the type of level of effort you're putting in and the positive reinforcement you're giving to not only your communities, but to just BSC and crypto in general. So I just want to acknowledge that and keep encouraging you guys to keep pushing it every day. Cause during this like rougher period and drought or whatever you want to call it, there's going to be some of us that'll be standing at the end. And I guarantee every one of you guys that are here today will be standing with us, because we're going to make it through this and keep up the good work.
Nice. So this happens to me from time to time. I have many friends in the space, and multiple friends of mine are coming out with their own NFT marketplaces all at the same time. That being said, Glow Token is a close partner of NBC's, and they are going to be coming out with a marketplace, I believe, launching on July 1st, maybe before. That being said, we do have our NFT line, the NBC Meta Rangers. We will be listing that line on their marketplace when it goes live, along with quite a few other projects. Crypto Atlas is going to be on there. I don't want to name other ones without permission, so I'm not going to. But quite a few other projects are going to be moving their lines over to that marketplace. It'll still be listed anywhere else it's sold. So like the Meta Rangers, you could still buy them from NFT Trade, or you could go to NBCRangers.com, but you'll also have direct access to make those purchases from Glow V2's marketplace. And with that, we're also going to be branding our metaverse NFT marketplace for Glow V2 as a part of that overall partnership there. That's a nice little outro for me. Atlas, how about you? Oh, no, sorry. Shield Coin first and then Atlas.
No worries. As far as everyone goes, having the NFT that we provide, again, right now the market's down, but it's very useful, and it's right now at a discount. With BNB down, it's actually cheaper to get it, and when BNB goes back up, it'll go back to its original value. But that being said, based on what some of the things that Crypto Atlas pointed out, there are some upgrades we want to do with our NFT as well. We do want to put out a single-use NFT that doesn't require activation. And I think that'll make it a little easier for us to partner with other projects that are doing things in NFT space. And that way, it's something that can be added to other NFTs as a utility, but it doesn't require a lot of excess work on behalf of the owner. So that's something we're considering. I'll work through how that looks and what that looks like in the space. But again, everyone that's here, thank you for being here. I see all your different projects, and especially the USD buffet. Reflect, you both kind of came out right before I did. Yeah, we're going to be around for a while, so I know I'm going to see you a few more times throughout the year, throughout the next couple of years. But it really is. This is going to be that testing period where we see some projects, go by the wayside, and some of them keep innovating and keep moving forward. And that's what we're going to try to do. We know that that's what you all are going to do, and we're glad to be here. Let us know if you need anything.
That's actually a really interesting idea and concept. So just come out with an NFT that's a one-time use and then burns after claim. Yeah, I could see that being a really nice, an easy sell product to partnerships like launch pads and stuff like that. Just like the one-time purchase price for this NFT. And yeah, I like that. Atlas, outro.
Well, first off, thank you, Chris, aka Meta Captain, for having me on board. The NFT line that we're launching next month in partnership with Glow Token and with Meta BUSD Coin, these are just the first two announced partnerships. I am planning on including more. And as I just noted earlier, there's going to be a lot of stuff built in with these NFTs, passive income, utility partnerships, cross communications, and then you still have the digital artwork. So there's trading value with that itself. That's going to be launched over on the Glow Tokens marketplace. Anyone that's listening, if you guys want to find out more information, go check out the new website. We just made it go live. It's teamecowarriors.com. On Twitter, it's @teamecowarriors. So it's the same thing. The line itself is called Eco Warriors. I'm really excited about its future, just to be able to showcase what more we could do with NFTs. I'm on YouTube as well, Crypto Atlas. I cover lots of different crypto projects if you guys want to check that out. And last thing I'll just say is that, people look at a glass, right? You say whether the glass is half empty or half full. You guys are missing the point. The glass is refillable.
Very interesting. Real quick, just before we leave, elephant in the room that I didn't even think about till just now. And this is for you, Atlas, so you better pay attention.
I'm like, how the hell did this elephant get in my room? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So
don't scare me like that.
NFT line is going to buy some Safe Moon as well on every purchase, and then distribute the Safe Moon to the holders. Can we assume that you're not allowed to actually publish that or say anything like that?
Well, I'm not saying it's an official partnership. In fact, I'm trying to make it very clear that they are not partners on this. This is a community element that I decided to include them on. But with Glow Token and with Meta BUSD Coin, those are official partners. The fact that I built in a feature that helps contribute towards Safe Moon, yeah, I don't think that there's any issues with people knowing that that's something that we have going on. But they are not saying that they're endorsing the project. There's legal issues in case if anything goes wrong. So I understand their stance. But this was a voluntary thing that I said, let's allocate something that can help contribute towards that specific project. I've covered so much of it. I believe that they got a lot of potential moving forward. And so, yeah, that was more of a personal decision for that one. There's two of you now.
Yeah, sorry, my phone died. All right, guys, have a good night. This has been fantastic. Thank you all for joining me. We will be back next week. We will have Mango from Charged Particles next week. Third time's the charm, or fourth time's the charm with this guy, but he is coming on. Major guest speaker. Super excited to get him and EJ together. I just have this like strong feeling that they're going to immediately get along and work together. So need to make that happen. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.